Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy. And now they work for me. My name is Charlie.
A couple months back, I saw the MCG Charlie's Angels movies for the first time, and I was surprised at how absolutely much I loved them. They were really fun, funny, and sexy movies. So I will admit, I actually was planning on seeing the new Charlie's Angels movie directed by Elizabeth Banks. Or at least, like I said, I was, until she made some less than charming comments on why she believed her movie was failing. I don't want to harp too long on this as I'm trying to talk about Birds of Prey, but I'll briefly discuss this right here as I do believe it ties in with what's going on with Birds of Prey. For some reason, Elizabeth Banks seemed to think that men would go see this, or at least that they should see it, even though the marketing was clearly not geared towards them.
I think women can do anything.
Bitch, are you for real?
And obviously you don't need to gear your marketing towards people that you're not trying to get in. But in that case, if you're not going to do that, why bother getting angry when that group doesn't show up to your movie?
Look, people have to buy tickets to this movie, too. This movie has to make money. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. They'll go and see a comic book movie with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel because that's a male genre.
For her to say that Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel belong to a male genre is plain ridiculous. Does she actually think the superhero genre movies, one of these most accessible and appealing genres to the point where it brings in people from all demographics, is more male-oriented than action movies simply because hers has women in them?
We need more women's voices supported with money because that's the power. The power is in the money. I think women are allowed to have 1 or 2 action franchises every 17 years. I feel totally fine with that.
Her saying that these movies need money to succeed is, completely fine. But the thing is, she's basically saying that for female action movies, which are specifically directed at females, as the marketing for this and Birds of Prey would show, it needs these backing and supports of men, even though it's not geared towards them. The marketing isn't directed towards them in any way, but they need to support it. Imagine if Michael Bay had a Transformer movies flop and then blamed middle-aged moms and old women for not coming to see it, saying that he needed them to support his movie. And all this ties into my main point for this video, being that if a movie can't survive on its main audience's support alone, then it doesn't even really deserve to exist in the first place. I know this may seem harsh, but it really is true. Now this brings us right to the real main topic, Birds of Prey. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I meant to say Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Is anyone really surprised that that name was so bad that they actually just changed it to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey? One thing about these situations that I couldn't wrap my head around was exactly how these people cannot see that a movie that can't survive off appealing to its core audience wasn't a bad thing. Gary Conway, however, seemed to answer that question for me. I'm not going to show the whole thread here, but I will leave a link to it in the description. Please don't attack or insult him. The part I want to focus on is this.
The female audience isn't large enough to compensate.
What this statement tells me is that they don't believe that it's the movie or the marketing's fault for the movie's underperformance, but rather believe that it did connect with its target demographic and that its audience is just so small that it wasn't able to make the movie a success. That is really dumb. If your audience is so small that it can't support your movie, and you have to tell other demographics ones that you didn't even care about getting into your movie when you were marketing it, to come and support your movie, why are you even making the movie in the first place? Gary Conway, even in his tweets, basically said that they did take out things that probably would have appealed to males and young teens, like it did in Suicide Squad, you know, sexiness and cute girls, things like that. To put this as simply as possible, if you want an audience to see your movie, whether it was intended for them or not, you know, when you were making it, market to them. That's how you get groups and other people to get interested in your film. Put things they like in it. Show things that appeal to them in the trailers. What do you think Aquaman got women because, oh, everyone loves Aquaman? No, it's because of Jason Momoa. The first thing I ever heard from Aquaman from a woman was how hot she thought Jason Momoa was. That's the entire point of marketing in the first place. And I feel like they actually understand this, as the stupid cutesy title change was in direct response to the poor reception they were receiving. Now, I'm not going to call this a trend, as the only movies that have done this are the ones I've mentioned here, you know, Birds of Prey and Charlie's Angels. But people blaming the failure of female-led movies on men needs to stop now. I actually do like female-led action movies, the ones I've seen at least, even though I don't believe, and I'm sure most people would agree, that they haven't made a incredibly interesting one, aside from Annihilation, in quite some time now. If you continue to go down this route, studios are going to start thinking that female-led action movies are box office poison, and they're just going to get rid of all of them. You're harming the very thing you want to support, and it is painful.